Smart.
Good. For people like me.
For people like you, of course.
First time I met Steve Coogan many years ago, and I didn't really meet... It wasn't a big auspicious meeting. For some reason, I was roped into a Royal Variety performance, and as you know, I don't have really an act. I was there introducing someone. Steve was on, and this was before he'd gone away and seen the light and come back doing character comedy, and you were doing straightforward impersonations of the old school, weren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember? I think you even did Frank Spencer on stage.
I did do Frank Spencer, and ironically, as a kind of this is the impression you're not supposed to do.
But people were just enjoying it.
They were just enjoying it because it was Frank Spencer.
It was a bloody good impersonation.
I know, yeah.
Could I trouble you for a bit of Frank Spencer?
Put it over there or do it in the morning.
But that's what we like. I've got to be honest with you.
I've got to tell you, actually, Jonathan came to my 30th birthday party, and what really made me laugh was that my dad was there. My dad came up and said, Jonathan said, "You must be very proud of your son. He's done very well."
Hold on. Okay. No one talks like that. It's not just a bad impersonation of me, it's a bad impersonation of a human being. You must be very proud of your son. Someone talk like that, they'd be hit on the head and disposed of.
Oh, well, yeah, they seem to recognise who it was.
Right, so what did I say to your father?
You said, you must be very... no, I'm going to...
Do the voice if you must.
You must be very proud of your son, Mr. Coogan. He's done so well. You must be very proud of him. And my dad looked at Jonathan Ross and went, "I know the face."
OK, what do they make of Alan Partridge over in the States? Because you're making something of a success over there now. You're in there's a new movie opening here next week, and on next week's show we have the brilliant Ben Stiller on the show. Terrific comedian. He stars in that movie alongside you, and he directed it as well. I think he co-wrote it. So obviously you're known over there, and you have a solid and growing career out there. What do they make of you as a performer, and what do they make of shows like Partridge? Is that appreciated there? Is that enjoyed?
Well, it's sort of got a kind of cult following over there. All the funny people who are famous like it, you know. And it kind of, I mean, Ben Stiller said he watched it on his laptop in his kitchen with his wife, so because they wasn't available on BBC, hadn't provided it in an American format. Interesting, but yeah, no, there is a kind of a cult following.
So you've got a groundswell of appreciation. People know what you can do. But that's not a character, I can imagine. Would that work in America, I suppose, if they
it's very, very British. A lot of my comedy is very, very British. I mean, my live show...
But, you know, you say that. Hold on a second. Let's think about this. The Office, which over here, which when I saw it... I mean, initially I didn't get it when I first saw it. I didn't realise what was going on. Yeah. Then I fell in love with it, so many people did. And I thought, this is quintessentially British. It's about humiliation. It's about a pompous character who's self-deluding. And yet in America, they transferred it, and it's working great. I'm sure they could do that with Partridge. I think
there's a couple of people who are sort of interested in it. In sort of doing something with it in an American way, but it's getting the right people, the right person to play, you know, to play Alan. You know, he's very specific and he's very sort of performance-driven. You know, it's very much about me doing all that and speaking like that and being an idiot.
Yeah.
So it's quite a tall order, but in some ways it's been an advantage to me because. Over here, I'm sort of typecast a little bit with that.
Well, they know you more for that.
So, but that's what got them.
So they know you really as a straight actor with a comic bent.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Whereas over here, in fact, when I meet film directors out there, if they're British, I go, they're not going to give me a job because they just think of me as Alan Partridge. Whereas American directors tend to see me as being able to do
proper acting.
Grown-up acting.
All right, well, two things I want to ask you. One is whether you miss doing the character ever, whether you would do another TV series because of that, and the second question would be what's happened to this Partridge film, which seemed to be on again, off again, on again, off again. Looks like it's never going to happen, I guess, now.
Well, I do like doing him, funnily enough, and I do still have moments when I'm walking down the street and I think, I wonder what Alan would say about that.
So you really do? So he feels like a fully grown person?
Yes, he does. He's sort of like... He's the thing is, because he's like a real person, if he was a real person, he'd be very annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, he's funny because he's sort of a character, but if you're actually stuck in a lift with him, he'd be a horrible, annoying person.
Yeah, awful.
So in a way, it's like me knowing this really annoying person who sometimes helps me be funny.
Yeah.
But the rest of the time, I think, oh God, it's that annoying person again. But I do enjoy performing and in the live show that I'm doing, there's going to be a big fat chunk of Alan.
And so this live show, and this is a kind of new development in his career, or is it just the character?
No, he's going to be doing a big lifestyle presentation.
So he's moved on from when we last saw him on TV?
Oh, yes, he's turned his life around. He's had an epiphany and he wants to help people who want to get their life back on track with a big kind of presentation.
So like a kind of a life coach, one of those
Yeah, he's like a life coach.
Okay. And what sort of advice does he give to people? What sort of things does he offer up?
Well, he has pearls of wisdom. One of his pearls of wisdom is that yesterday, today
hang on,
was...
you
today
can't
was,
do it in your voice. You know,
okay.
we're...
Yesterday, today was tomorrow, but tomorrow, today will be yesterday. that's sort of
well, you can't argue with that.
You can't argue with it. It's
yeah,
actually, in fact, technically correct.
But it's a meaningless waffle.
Meaningless, yes. There's lots of meaningless waffle in it. And he also does a world premiere of his new play, which is based on the life of Sir Thomas More, in which Alan will be playing Sir Thomas More, which will also feature Anne Boleyn and Henry VIII. So,
and the movie, Partridge the movie, is not going to happen? It's never going to happen?
I don't know, mate.
Because you had an idea. You were going ahead with an idea and stuff, weren't you?
Yeah, but it's just... some mornings I wake up and think, oh, that'd be a really great, really funny thing to do. And then some mornings I wake up and think, oh, I can't be bothered. And I should never have opened my mouth about it in the first place. But yeah, it might happen. You know, it might.
You wouldn't want to do it and get it wrong, of course. That would
no,
be
that's the problem. That's
the
the big problem. Is like, you know, there's a kind of a legacy of Alan on telly, and if I was going to do something, I would really want to get it, you know, absolutely bang on.
OK. Now, you know, we've been talking a little bit about Steve's tour, of course, and his forthcoming movies. We've touched upon one's called Tropic Thunder. That's the one with Ben Stiller in, which I have seen. I saw it over the summer. Fantastically funny. I mean, genuinely very funny and very kind of dark. I mean, very much like a British movie in some ways.
Yeah.
Only funny.
Yeah.
But then also, I know you've got a new TV thing coming out as well, which isn't... it doesn't sound like a comedy. Is it a comedy or is it a comedy?
It's a drama, but it's drama with very funny moments, but it's more sort of sad with funny bits. But Craig Cash wrote it and directed it.
Now, Craig, of course, was heavily involved in creating and co-writing The Royal Family, so that's pretty good pedigree right there.
That's right, yeah. And it was shot in Manchester, and I play a bin man who's a gambling addict. Yeah. So it was nice to go back to Manchester and work with some, you know, real Northerners. John.
Can you do a Manchester accent? Can you do that?
Well, it's funny actually because I sort of change my accent depending on who I'm with.
So hold it. So when you're in America, if you're in an American movie, you become slightly American-y.
No. When I'm in America, what I do is, well, it depends if you're asking for, like, in America, if you ask for a glass of water, right? So can I have a glass of water? They go, what? You go, can I have a glass of water, please? They go, what? You go, water. They go, what? And you go, water. And they go, oh, you want some water? Yeah. but I don't play. I do sort of. They really like the English accent over there, so I actually don't do any Northern at all. I sort of become sort of Lord Coogan of Manchester.
Jolly, have you ever said jolly good to an American person?
Yeah. I say cheers, mate.
Hey, how lovely to have you here. It's great to see you again. I'm going to come and see you live. I'm really excited about seeing you live.
Good. Well, I'll make sure there's a ticket for you to buy.
Apparently not a problem with the O2. I'm sure we'll sell out any minute now.
Yes. There's a few left. They'll have to hurry if they want a ticket.
Yeah. All those people who couldn't get tickets for Stevie Wonder, take pity on him instead. Same first name, we'll do a bit of suspicious superstition for him. Okay, suspicion. Mr. Steve Coogan, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic. Great. I'll come the O2 one then. Steve Coogan. Isn't he lovely?